Hey Pisces, welcome to Get Life 333 Tarot. This is Jackie. Thanks so much for joining me. This is going to be a read for your Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for April 1st to April 15th. Hope you guys are doing well. I'm going to be pulling a Celtic cross spread for you guys today. I do like those because if you have a question, it'll answer it. And if you're not sure of a specific question, it will explain the situation anyway. Two questions I want to just note real quick that I was asked this month. First of all, my accent is from New York. And second, I got a number of questions asking, you know, when do we pay more attention to our moon sign versus our sun? And that really does come down to what time you were born. So if you know what time you were born and you were born between sunset and sunrise, you may resonate more with your moon sign. You know, conversely, if it was from sunset to sunrise, you would resonate more strongly with your sun sign. That's a super simplistic way of looking at it, but for many people, it is actually quite helpful. All right, so let's get right to it. I can't believe we're in April already, guys. This is nuts, right? Nuts. Okay, so for those of you who aren't familiar with the Celtic cross spread, I will explain the positions and what they will mean as we go along, okay? Alrighty, let's get these set up first, and then we'll talk about it. Okay. All right, Pisces. Wow, this is a great time of introspection for you guys, is what I'm getting straight out of the bat. Okay, off the bat. All right, so this is card number one, and this would be either the answer to your question or the situation. Now, I'm going to discuss it as a situation, but whatever question you may have come into the reading wanting to find out more about, the answer would be an absolute yes. This is beautiful. It's 10 of Pentacles. So let's talk about this. So this is Mercury in Virgo. So this highlights practical aspects of life as well as the physical body. This is a time of finding specific solutions to problems. Yeah, a time of inheritance too for some of you. Definitely generosity and or love that brings wealth and happiness, you know. So here, if your question was if your current relationship will become more committed, the answer is yes. Okay, I can only say though that it might not happen right away, just because Mercury is not going to be out of shadow until the middle of April. But this is definitely definitely a positive card. So whether you're in a relationship or not, though, this energy indicates maturity. You know, it can also be in terms of finances as well, you know, as far as investments, you know, your investments becoming mature, right? But it could also mean emotional maturity that comes with life experience, you know. I feel like you're in a time here just of being really honest and successfully honest in your self-reflection, you know, reflection on where you've been and understanding the lessons that you've learned from different experiences. You know, understanding your role and what you allowed to happen, what you did not allow to happen, you know, the areas of self-sabotage, where you are afraid, where your fears lie, you know, and are in like, you're going to be in, you are in this very open and accepting space right now to unpack all of this so you can move forward in the best way possible, which I just love that. You know, right now we have the Pluto and South Node influence, and Pluto is funny because Pluto really wants to like get into the underbelly of our underworld and dig up all the shit, you know, and throw it out, right? But what's funny is how, it's not funny, it's actually interesting how duplicitous Pluto is, because on the one hand, Pluto wants us to get rid of all the old garbage that's no longer serving us, but at the same time, he really wants us to hold on to whatever is possible that could be to our ultimate benefit. And sometimes things, we might not immediately see things that could be to our ultimate benefit right away. You know, so it's this time of figuring out what's good, what's bad, what do I get rid of, what do I hold on to kind of thing. And then we have the Ace Pentacles, which is, this is what complements you. So this is auspicious for every aspect of your life. And this indicates the opportunity for further attainment in areas that maybe you're even doing pretty well in. So any questions regarding your home or relationship, this is a time of receiving what you need, more than what you need. So don't doubt this. You know, you absolutely deserve this, Pisces, you know. This indicates increased wealth and whatever that means to you. You know, not everyone considers wealth the same way. So it's what you value most. You know, in a practical sense, it could certainly be money, of course, okay, because it's a pentacle, but can also be great health, and you know, an increase in your health, an improvement in your health. Maybe you started a new workout plan, or maybe you're really just taking better care of yourself. Maybe you stopped smoking. Maybe you're not drinking so much. Maybe, you know, whatever it is. This could also indicate an increase in your friendship connections, or in deepening of your friendships. You know, just this feeling of, you know, feeling full, like in your heart and your relationships. And this is all divinely guided. You know, that's what this indicates. You know, and you have the star here, right, with the 5 points of the star. And each one here indicates one of each of the 5 senses, you know. So we have sight, smell, hearing, touch, sound. You guys know what those are. But what happens when we have all of our senses heightened is our intuition is turned up as well, right? So, you know, really right now, you know, this is complementing you. This is really helping you out. Your intuition is helping you out in a very big way right now, okay? And then we're moving on to something that needs to be achieved in this moment, something that needs to be understood, and that's going to be the 5 of Swords reverse for you. So in order to make, you know, this energy happen from here, there may have to be some really what you consider to be unnecessary conflict. You know, it just is like an energy where you're getting caught up in the middle of another person's issue, another person's fight, and you're going to somehow be impacted through no fault of your own. This is really what this indicates. But while you do consider it unnecessary, there is a reason for it. You might not see it at first. So just know that the person who initiates this issue has a selfish agenda. So they may be trying to cover up their incompetence. You know, this could be at work or in a relationship. You know, the kind of people who I'm talking about who blame others to deflect attention. You know, we've all had a few of those in our life. Or it could just be their ego making, you know, a show. You know, but the good part here is that it's going to be pretty easy for you to extricate, that, you know, that is to pull yourself out of the situation, because you're going to see right through their bullshit and that it's actually not you. You know, this could also indicate some kind of bullying or oppression. You're just getting that feeling, but this suggests finding the opportunity to expose whatever unfairness is happening in this situation, to shift the balance of power, if you know what I mean, you know, to hold the mirror up to their face if needed. And if they're not getting it, if you're dealing with a narcissist who just doesn't want to see what they're doing wrong, or admit anything, because if narcissists just don't possess the ability to see or acknowledge anything that they're doing wrong, then just, you know, move it on. You know, move away from them is what this energy indicates. And then we have the Page of Wands here. The Page of Wands is the message that the reading wants you to know. Okay, so the reading wants you to know the good news is coming. So this is the energy from the universe. This is a message that you might not even think about understanding, but that you need to know that good news is coming to you at this time. So yeah, that's good. So this indicates a few things though. Okay, first, this is a time to express yourself. You know, Pisces, your desires, what you want in this new season of your life, because you are absolutely starting a new season of your life. You know, what do you want it to look like? You know, and really think about that. Become clear on that if you can. And then second, understand that a new situation of some kind is entering or has entered your life that may not actually be as great in reality as in theory. You know, this can be a job. You know, maybe the status of the position may not be like as high or as meaningful as you might expect. You know, or if this is a relationship, you know, this is somebody new maybe who you met or you're entertaining, they may not be all that they initially present, you know, themselves to be. This could even be like a new friendship that you've made with somebody. And, you know, yeah, they may not be who they initially present themselves as, in that they may have a great personality and be incredible at communication, but the energy here also indicates someone who actually bores easily and is prone to moving on to whatever the next more stimulating situation might be available to them. So here, and I don't want you to look at it too heavily, only because it's a minor arcana and it's a short-lived thing, but this is just a heads up, is to just make sure whoever you're dealing with or whatever situation you're involved in at this time, make sure that the actions match the words. So if it's a job and they're promising you something, make sure everything aligns at the end of the day. If somebody is claiming that they are something or that they believe in something or they're a certain way, just, you know, your intuition is so turned up right now that I shouldn't even have to be telling you this, but I have to read what's here. Yeah, just make sure actions are matching words. Yeah. You know, and this could also, I just have to throw in, this could also indicate a reunion with an old friend, okay, that you're going to really enjoy, you know, reminiscing with, talking about the old times, having some good laughs, and this is going to provide like a grounding for you and a kind of healing that you may need right now, right? So yes, because this can really mean quite a few things. Okay, and then moving on here, we have in your past position, we have the Ace of Cups reversed. So this is, you know, you're coming from a space of feeling blocked, Pisces, you know, a place of emotional or physical, it could be physical too, exhaustion due to demands put on you. You know, you may have been in a space where you didn't have the time or the space to nurture your relationship or to get things done the way you needed to, which ended up making you just feel somehow neglected. Or you may be exhausted from the emotional demands of someone else. You know, it could be a relationship, could be a job, but this was definitely a time of confusion, of disappointment, a lack of trust. You know, and if it has to do with a relationship, it could be disappointment in a relationship not developing, you know, in the way that you wanted. You know, yeah. Okay, and then we have going into the near future, which is the Hangman reverse. So this is going to be a time of rigid thinking for you, Pisces. You may need to revise your expectations a little bit, you know. Like what you want may just not be possible right now. So this energy indicates that you have to ask yourself, if you're hanging on to a fantasy that may make you a victim rather than a victor in the end, you know, on the other side of it. So take a hard look at this and work, you know, within yourself to adopt another view, to liberate yourself from a contract. It could be a soul contract, could be a literal contract, or just any obligation that can't offer you what you want and need. You know, that's really what you need to be focusing on. And I think you're going to be able to do it because the energy here certainly does support this self-reflective mode that you're in, you know, it really does. And then here we have this card represents you, which is the Star. Okay, if you guys can see that. Yeah, so this too indicates a block you're experiencing right now, Pisces. You can be creative, having to do with work, or could be in a relationship, but this indicates being too attached to something, too attached to like a situation or even like a fantasy, some sort of scenario that's perhaps really unattainable for you right now, and you may feel kind of lulled and lured into a false sense of security in something that has no real foundation at this time and has little chance of success. I don't want to be negative. This is just to give you a heads up, you know. This also indicates feeling alone, you know, now. without the support you need. Now, so you might be feeling this, which makes sense to me, because doesn't that typically precede a time of deep reflection? You know, we normally don't really take those hardcore looks at ourselves until we've gone through something that's so painful or confusing or just somehow compromising. It doesn't even have to be so dramatic, but something goes on typically to precede us stopping and saying, whoa, hold on a minute, what's going on? You know, and to become really reflective. That's normal and that's healthy. And then we have 8 here, which is external influence on you right now, and that would be the Empress, which is, I love this influence, right? The influence of the Empress is abundance and material comfort and security and emotional support, and impacts different areas pretty specifically. So if this was in regards to to your home, this could indicate maybe you're thinking about or starting a home improvement. I feel like it's still in the thinking phase as a home improvement, some sort of renovation or extension. Maybe really thinking about, you know, developing a garden and tending the garden, or even moving to a better environment for you, you know, one that's maybe a little healthier for you. And maybe this idea of like a fresh start is attractive to you right now. If it has to do with relationships, if you're single, this indicates a good time to begin a relationship, to at least get the wheels going in that direction. And if you're paired, you two will enjoy a harmonious time period right now. You know, and if it has to do with career or money, this is a secure time. So work will be a supportive environment for you right now. So that's I think that's a great external influence, right? It seems to work nicely with what you have going on here. I do like that. And then we have in your hopes and fears, the Queen of Pentacles. So here, this is an influence in your life. And this could be an influence or a person. So it really does depend on your story, because this is a general reading. Of this influence or person entering your life who will have a positive impact on you somehow, you know? Yeah, it's going to be reminding you to take care of yourself, and not only your body, but your mind as well, your finances, just kind of doing a little sit-down checklist of where you're at in your life, really a very panoramic view of just understanding the landscape of where you're at right now. So this supports positive changes, obviously, to your money sector, your health sector. This energy supports a very sensual sex life if you're sexually active right now. But this also does increase fertility and children. So if you are sexually active and you're not in a space where you don't want to get pregnant, just be very careful right now during this time. But this energy is really beautiful, and it encourages self-love and awareness. So very nice, you know, I think very, very, very nice. And, you know, this makes perfect sense, this energy, to go into this outcome here with the Hermit. It's a Virgo influence, you know, it's a Virgo card. So here, you know, you're taking time out to contemplate your experiences. You'll be processing your feelings here. Yeah. There's a healing aspect to this energy, self-healing, and even healing to others. You might be in the situation at this time where you may need to guide another or others, you know, however that might relate to you, and show them a way forward, even if you're not sure what the hell you're doing. And you might not think, you know, from a practical perspective that you have much to offer, but it's, you know, the energy here indicates that you're going to have a very healing effect, not only on yourself, but on others around you as well. So here, let's just think about this, because the Hermit to me is a very big card. It's the card of, you know, being alone, not lonely, in that when you're in Hermit mode, you're very busy in your own mind, just figuring out everything that's important in life, you know. You're not busying yourself with the nonsensical minutia. It's stuff that's really going to help improve your life and improve you. So if this has to do with relationships, this really does indicate a time to work on yourself and work on the relationship that you have with yourself and who you are, and really unravel your I call it like your personal onion, you know. Work on removing the layers. Really work on identifying why things don't work out in your favor, but also identify what does work out and how that ends up coming to happen. Because there's reason behind everything. And just really get very honest with yourself, you know. This does indicate a time of being single, or at least taking space mentally if you're in a relationship. This doesn't indicate like a breakup or anything, but you may be in a space in your relationship where you're just doing a lot of introspection. You know, a lot of growth in this way. Because I do want to make note, if you're in a healthy relationship, this energy is real. Just communicate this with your partner so they don't think it's them, you know? Because you don't want to do that. That's unfair to them. And you guys are not an unfair sign, right? I'd like to think. I guess everyone has positive and negative sides to them, but generally speaking, the archetype of Pisces is that of somebody who is considerate. And then if this has to do with your home, you really want to think things through before making any big decisions. And, you know, like I mentioned before, if you're thinking about moving, just don't go online and buy a house in like the Bahamas or something like that, or whatever. And I'm speaking from the perspective that I live in New York, so, you know, if you live in the Bahamas, hey-ho, you know, nothing against that. But you know what I mean? Just don't jump on the boat to make a big rash decision right now to do anything. Just wait for this time period to just, you know, wrap itself up. And then if this has to do with work, you may feel drawn to shifting the angle of your work, you know, because you might be thinking, oh, you know, there's this other way, this other track within this career that I think might be really interesting for me, because you're definitely at a point where your story is changing. You're changing, your story is changing. This doesn't necessarily mean a move. It doesn't necessarily mean a breakup. It's you're changing in you. So it makes perfect sense to me that you might be evaluating the way in which you make money. You know, you may be, you know, shifting here. Just stand back for a minute before making any decisions is what I'm getting with this. But, you know, overall, this is, I really, really love this reading, Pisces, because you're working with the energy here. Because the energy, I'm telling you, just with this Pluto and South Node influence, and we got the full moon, oh my goodness, you know, shortly before this goes into effect, there's a lot. This is such a season of change. Really definitive endings of chapters and definitive beginnings of the next chapter. And you guys are paying attention to everything, everything, everything. And I love that, because you're going to end up exactly where you're supposed to be. So this is entirely positive to me. Absolutely. All right, Pisces, thanks so much for hanging out with me. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.